Universal Music Group just removed its entire catalog from TikTok, and I've seen a lot of musicians saying, hey, this is a good thing, let's go, we don't like TikTok, and I strongly disagree. I don't think TikTok is a bad thing for artists. I don't even think it's a neutral thing for artists or musicians. I think TikTok is a good thing for musicians and artists. I've been producing music for over 10 plus years, and I've worked with tons of independent artists, and I can tell you from firsthand what TikTok has done to and for artists, especially independent artists. So first off, we need to understand why they want to do this to begin with, why labels like this are trying to remove their music from TikTok. They didn't just magically come up with the will to want to pay artists more. In fact, the average record deal is not a record deal, it's a record steal. And I know I'm going to get a ton of hate for that. But it's not a record deal, it's a record loan. So what happens is, this is the average, and I'll leave a link to the article that I got this from down below in the description, but the average artist cut of their own music that they own is around 12 to 20%, and the labels take the rest after they retrieve the first payout of what they gave you. So if you get $10,000 to make a song, or if you get, $50,000 to make an album, let's say, they will take all of the royalty from your music until that 50 grand is paid off. And then they will take 70, 80, even 90% of the royalties forever on that music for its entirety. So record labels are not really in the industry of wanting to pay artists more, okay? So they're not pulling their music down off of TikTok because they want to get paid more. They want to get paid more, but they don't really necessarily care about the artist too much. The label industry is essentially, they want to own things and retrieve dividends from it, kind of like real estate and investing. Labels are investors. They want to invest in digital assets, in digital real estate like music, and they want to collect dividends without having to do anything, and then move on to the next artist that they can give a little bit of money to, invest in, collect all of that money back, and then collect recurring revenue forever, for as long as that song is getting played. What's happening is TikTok is not paying the labels what they want to get paid. And this is making the labels very mad because they can't make money now, or as much money as they could, or as much money as they think they should. And this is a problem for the labels. Now, why do artists want to get a record deal? Why do they want a record deal and give away 70, 80+% of everything that they make from that song, just for a little bit of money up front? It would make way more sense just to save the money up front, do it yourself, and then be an independent artist. The label doesn't really have a whole bunch to do with the sound quality of your music and things like that, or the songwriting and things like that, unless they get you in the room with other people, and that in and of itself can be very viable. And I'm not knocking on that whatsoever. If you are under a record label right now and you are having a great time, there are definitely a lot of record labels out there that are having a great time. I'm specifically talking about UMG and the TikTok and that whole thing right now. But there are a lot of record deals, and most of them just are not a good deal for the artists themselves. But because artists are hungry and they think that that deal is going to make them famous, they usually take it. So what happens is the artists want the deal because there used to be a barrier of entry. That used to be the only way. That was your only ticket to be successful at music. Just a couple years ago. I mean, it wasn't that long ago. You couldn't make music at your house. You couldn't promote your music online for free. You had to basically sign to a label that owned MTV, that owned these music studios, that owned all of the artists that were writing music and selling it to you, that owned the distributions, so that way you could get your music on CDs. So, like, if you think about it, back in the 80s, you had to write a song, find a place to record it, gear was very expensive back then. Now you can make great sounding music with very minimal gear. And you had to then make cover art, print CDs, and find a way to sell those CDs. You had to tour because people couldn't watch you live on the internet. and you had to do all of these things that was just so expensive. It was almost impossible for the independent artist to become successful back in the day. It's not that way anymore, but we still think that's what we need to be successful. We're waiting for that record deal. One of these days, we're going to get that email from that record label, and they're going to sign us, and everything's going to be okay. It's not. Remember when I said that music labels are investors? Now, if you still want a music deal or a record deal, if you're still looking for a record deal, you have to show them you're already worth something or they're not going to invest in your music. I know that sounds harsh. I don't mean that in a very harsh way, but that's the truth. They're looking at you like an investment. That's what it is, because that's all they're really interested in, is making an investment in musical digital assets that's going to bring them recurring revenue without them having to do anything. They just want to own stuff that brings them money. So if you haven't proven to them that you're already profitable, they're not going to sign you. It's just not going to happen. So, yeah, I don't mean that in a harsh way at all. I'm just trying to give you a real look at why this is and why I think that TikTok's actually a good thing. Okay, so now we understand the business model. Now we understand why record labels are doing what they're doing. We understand that now. Now, intro, TikTok, and the internet, and computers, and DAWs, and lowering the barrier of entry. If you have a phone, just a phone, you can make music. That's nuts. If you have a laptop, an interface, and somewhat of a decent microphone, you can make really high quality sounding music that can be played on the radio with what you have. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. And so the barrier of entry is lowered. You can now release your music and get in front of hundreds of thousands of people without making a single CD. The barrier of entry has lowered. That means good music rises to the top. That means artists that can connect with their fans rise to the top. And so TikTok is one of the best places to promote your music. It is hands down the best way to promote your music because it levels the playing field. If you have a phone and an internet connection, you can promote your music to millions, hundreds of millions, maybe even billions of people for free. That's insane. And if you don't want to do it for free, you can run ads and do it not for free. You have options. It's insane. And so what this is doing is it's the record labels used to have a grip in this industry, and their grip is being just pulled apart. And now artists like Nick D and Connor Price are blowing up because of TikTok and Instagram Reels and things like that. They're blowing up, and the record labels are reaching out to them, wanting to sign them, and they're saying, why would I give you 70% of what I'm doing? I'm already making it. Connor Price is making over $250,000 a month, by the way, just from Spotify streaming revenue alone. It's insane. So record deals want a piece of that, and artists and smart independent artists like Connor Price and Nick D are saying absolutely not. We're not doing that. And so the playing field has been leveled, and there are no more gatekeepers keeping your music and keeping you from your audience. Now, I did see somebody the other day, a YouTuber I highly respect, but I'm not going to mention their name. They said the new gatekeeper is the algorithm now. And I'll get to that here in a second. They said it's now the algorithm is the new gatekeeper, and you have to do things, you have to pander to the algorithm in order to make this work. I disagree here too. And I think that was a thing for a while, but it's shifting more or less back to the audience again. If you just replace the word algorithm with audience, everything just makes sense. I haven't edited anything in this video. I'm not going to edit anything in this video. And if I make some mistakes here and there, I'm just going to leave them in. And then I'm going to press upload, and I'm going to upload it. You're not seeing flashy thumbnails, flashy titles, or flashy intros, or anything like that. It's just me pressing record on my camera and talking to you directly. And if you're still watching this, this is proof that I am looking for what you guys want and what the audience wants, not what YouTube wants and what the algorithm wants. Because what the algorithm wants is it wants people to enjoy their time on YouTube. They are pushing for satisfaction, and every other platform is pushing for that as well. So if you think that the reason no one's listening to your music is because the algorithm's holding you back, I would say that you're just not making good enough content for the people that want to watch it. And this is the problem I see a lot. And this is, once again, it's going to sound harsh, but I'm just giving you the solid truth. I see a lot of artists that they understand this. Okay, so we've gotten to the point now where we're like, okay, maybe we don't want a record deal. We know that we can at least do this independently. We know that we can use TikTok, Instagram, social media to promote our music. Now we want to promote our music. And what they do is they start posting their song. And then that's it. Like, look at the song we made. Look at what we've done here. Taking a photo of the screen, and this is my song. Dude, a lot of people don't want to see that. You got to give them a reason to watch. Connor Price is a perfect example. If you don't know who Connor Price is, look him up after this. Brilliant guy. He makes skits based around his music. They're fun. They're entertaining to watch. They're just fun and entertaining, and it gives value to the audience, whether you listen to the song or not. And that's what artists need to be doing. They need to be providing value as soon as they get on the internet and as soon as they start making posts, instead of shoving their music down people's throats. Give them value up front first. Make entertaining content. Make content people would like to watch and like to share. And then say, by the way, I make this music. Or make content based around your music that is also entertaining and something that people would like to share. Anybody can do this now if you have a cell phone. The playing field, this is the ultimate level playing field. I'm just some random dude who's been producing music for the last 10 years who can prop up his camera, press record, and upload to YouTube. And I can talk to people who are interested in the same thing that I like to talk about. It's an incredible thing. It really is an incredible thing. So, now, here's the final thing I really want to talk about, is artists need to stop cashing out at the first sale. And I learned this a long time ago where I was trying to produce artists, and I was like trying to get out there and trying to start working up a client base. And one of my mentors told me, he goes, stop cashing out at the first sale. And I asked him what he meant by that. And he said, you're asking... Not that asking for the money is a bad thing. Absolutely not. Like, you need money to live. You got to pay your bills. You got to be able to handle stuff like that. And you want to be able to do music. I, totally understand that. He said, but you're going right into it with, like, okay, so here's the straight up exchange. And what you need to do is you need to go into it, and you need to show them that you can provide some value first before they're ever going to hire you. You need to gain that trust with them and stop cashing out at the first sale. I would be like, hey, I'm available for hire, and then no one would hire me. But what I started doing was I started reaching out to artists, showing them the work that I've done and showing them my portfolio, and then I would even take maybe one of their songs, or a song that they had, like a song idea that they had on Instagram. I would take it and produce it out a little bit and send it to them and ask them if they liked it. I would build a relationship and then do that. And they were like, oh, I love this. Or no, I don't really like it, and I appreciate you for taking the time to do it. And it started working really, really well because they saw that I could provide value up front before I did anything else. And so what happens is with artists, they cash out at the first sale. And they're trying to make all of their money from Spotify streams, or they want to make all that money from the record label, which is just a loan you have to pay back anyway with your music. And it takes a lot of streams to make a decent amount of money on Spotify. I'm not knocking that at all. It's definitely doable, but it takes a lot. And people are trying to cash out at the first sale. They get their music. Their song blows up on TikTok, and they're like, well, where's TikTok going to pay me? I want TikTok to pay me. And here's where you have the advantage over the record label. You don't need to cash out at the first sale. The record label does, because that means they don't have to do anything else. You can provide more value to your audience, and you don't have to cash out at the first sale. You don't have to let TikTok pay you. You can let your audience support your music directly. So here's just a couple ideas. You can offer early access to your music. You can you can give them access to you via live streams, exclusive live streams, exclusive songs that you don't release to anybody else. Obviously, everybody knows, they think of merch. You can sell hard copies of your music that's more like a collector's item and not just a CD, but something that, like, you have a handwritten letter or something very, very interesting inside of that package that you could sell to your audience. It could become a status symbol for that band. So if you only have 1,000 people that are following you right now, or let's say 100 people that are following you right now, and you make something like that, and you sell it, and you only make 10 of them, or you only make 50 of them, at the point in time where you really blow up, people are gonna, like, hold on to that and be like, this is what I got when he only had 500 followers. I got this from him. And it can be a status symbol for them, and they can attach themselves to you in that way. And that's very, very valuable for them. You can sell online tickets for online shows. You can sell in-person tickets. And, of course, Spotify, Apple Music, and streaming royalties. So you don't have to cash out at the first sale. You don't have to expect TikTok to pay you. You can use TikTok to your advantage. Use that lever of TikTok and social media to your advantage. Find your audience. Build a community. And offer them something. And it's a free exchange. They don't have to pay you. They don't have to. But if they want to, and they want to support your music, and they will, I promise you they will, at that point in time, you don't have to cash out the first sale, and you can support that community of your true loyal fans. So, I hope this video was super helpful for you. Just be creative with this. It doesn't matter, really, at the end of the day. If you're the kind of person that just wants to make music and you don't want to push your art out there, you just want to make music for yourself, that's fine. You don't have to do this. But if you're somebody who also wants to get streams on your music and you want your art to be heard, and I understand that entirely, be creative, make some creative content, be creative with the things that you're able to offer your audience. And know that it's on you now. And this is what people don't like. It's on you. Because the barrier of entry has lowered almost to zero. Anybody with a laptop can be a quote-unquote music producer. What that means now is it's on you to make great content. It's on you to make great music. And it's on you to actually do the work to get yourself out there. It's on you. No one is going to come in and sweep in and save you. It's on you. You got to do it. Just know there's profit in all labor. Go create some awesome music. I can't wait to see what you guys make. And if you like this video, let me know down in the comments below. What's your opinion on the whole UMG TikTok thing? I'd love to know your input. So thank you for being here. And as always, go create.